has to be the first question? Okay, so I'm probably the worst one to ask because every putter that we design, I test and try every putter. So with the group that I play with all the time, I show up with a different putter every Saturday or every Sunday. And so I'm always testing. I always like the look of them. For me, I go back to a Spider, and there's a flow neck on my Spider that I have that's very unique and very different. I go back to that one all the time. It's kind of my gamer, but I hit probably, like I said, every week I'm testing a different putter, so I always show up with that. And the whole thing, I think like everybody, when you look at a blade, we love the look of a blade. But I know what happens with a blade. A blade has a CG that's closer to face, and so when I get that 6-footer, I know I'm going left. So it's something in my mind where that's where the Spider is just kind of maintains this kind of robotic type feel, and that's why it's easier on 6 feet and in. So that's what makes me go to more of a Spider or a mallet putter. But I've always been a mallet guy. I would say I lean towards a mallet or any mallet that's out there. Favorite tour putter? We've done so many. They're all different. They're all unique. Each tour player is unique and different. I would say I find it interesting how we get there with all the best players. I think I go back a few years when DJ was in, and he was in Spider at the time, and we started looking at different Spiders and different sight lines. We had probably 6 different sight lines of his Spider. All had the same neck. So we knew where he was lining up, but what we found was by just changing the sight line, changed exactly where he was lining up and where he returned it back to square. So I go back to DJ and we put a kind of a T-square, a T-line in the sight line. And all of a sudden he was lining up not just outside the hole, but inside the hole and return it back to inside the hole. So that was interesting. And then we just had Colin Morikawa and we looked at his putting. And one thing that came out with his gamer that he brought in, he was lying about 2.2 degrees outside the hole, but he returned it back inside the hole every time. So he made every putt. All right, that's probably the putter for you. So we changed the hosel. And not only did he go from about 2.2, but he all of a sudden brought it inside the cup. So let's call it 0.7, 0.6, but he returned it back to square. So he made every putt. Okay, all of a sudden, just changing the hosel, he went from outside the hole to inside the hole. They made every putt. So then we changed the sight line. So then we took that hosel that he liked, which was the flow neck. He went from a long L neck to a flow neck. And then we took that flow neck and we changed the sight line from a long line in the back cavity of the blade to a dot on top. And all of a sudden he went from, let's say 0.6, lining up to like 0.4, 0.2, and he returned it back to 0. So it was amazing to watch what happens when we just change little things. Now, all those putters, he made every putt. So you can say every putt was perfect for him, but he was less rotation with the one putter that we ended with, which was the flow neck and a dot on top. So I guess each player is unique and different. So to say, is there one that was probably so different? They're all beautiful, they're all different. It all has to do with sight lines or hosels. I'm kind of one that kind of gets geeked out a little bit with uniqueness. And like I said, with DJ, just going back to a T-line in the back cavity, just seeing what he was able to do there. That just kind of is the first thing that I remember off my head. It's always fun when we have our photo shoot. We get all the players together, we're on the putting green. And I remember asking the players we were talking about analytics. And we were talking about from 0 to 3 feet, the make percentage is 99%, and you look at that, you go, wow, that's not like my group that I play with, right? That's kind of the scary zone from 0 to 6, but with them, 0 to 3 is 99% make. So we started talking about speed drills, and it was really going down the line for golfers because we all struggle from, let's say, 30 feet and beyond. And what's a good speed drill to be able to get the ball to the hole? And Jason Day had put a kind of a ruler about 2.5 feet beyond the hole. And at the time, Jason, if you watch Jason, he putts so well and he was using Spider at that time. And everything basically gets to the hole. Because you can go back and look at analytics in a lot of different ways, but you can also look at the amount of putts that are short out in tour. So every week, there's no doubt, whether you spin it, the top 10, top 20, top 50 players, every single week, they tee it up, always have less putts short as the guys that are in that top 10. Naturally, they get the ball to the hole. So Jason always had this nice drill that trying to get the ball to the hole and kind of staying in this box. And not to pick on DJ at the time, but DJ said that 2.5 feet was a little bit far for him. And so, Dave kind of looked at him and said, well, what should it be? He goes, more about maybe 8 inches beyond the hole. And Dave kind of looked at him and goes, well, you saw the analytics here. It's 99%. It doesn't matter if we're beyond the hole. It's still 99% make. I just found it interesting but his mindset, and this really goes back to mindset. And a lot of golfers, they just want to kind of sneak it into the hole. So that's telling you that most of your putts are probably going to be short because we don't want to go by the hole, but the analytics don't lie. So the players that get the ball to the hole the most every single week are the ones that are always in the top 10, top 20, top 50. So, it's just little things. When we get all the players together, I hear and see so much information it's great for us to record and be able to produce, and especially when we're at these same photo shoots. To me, I get just standing there with like Tiger or Rory and all the other players and watching them go through how to hit a wedge shot. And we record all this. It's amazing that each guy kind of approach it differently, but I think when Tiger talks, everybody wants to listen and step in and hear what he has to say about his wedge or his putter or his driver. So those are the times that I remember the most, is really at these photo shoots where these players, it's really letting them talk about their game. Every year we do a little bit of wedge play. We always get a lot of this that we're doing here with the players. And those are the ones that get the most hits. And especially listen to Tiger and how he approaches his wedge game. It's amazing. I just stand there with my mouth open too. It's really cool to see and fantastic to hear. I'm just inspired on trying to produce the best putter for the golfers that are out there today. That's kind of what goes back to why we created Spider. Spider was very unique at the time. I mean, you had 80% of the golfers out there playing blades, and we're bringing this giant mallet. We knew the numbers, we knew that the engineering behind it, we knew the performance was the best, but now we had to showcase this to the players. So the inspiration of trying to create the best putters that are out there really just inspires me all the time. It even goes back to the first time we had a white putter. Now, it was unique. We had a putter design that was very interesting. We had 3 lines on it. We had an open hole in the back cavity. And we sat there and we said, well, this is a great design, great putter. But how is this going to be unique out there? And so we went and started looking at finish options and everybody was silver or black. And we started looking at white, and we started doing a lot of research on white especially with the gentleman from Indiana University that understands what our eyes are telling us. And it was really remarkable to see what white does to our eyes. And so taking it to the tour for the first time and showcasing a white putter, we had no idea where it was going to go. And there were comments that kept coming back, as it really allows me to see my vision better and my line better, and especially on cloudy days. So that's really what I see. And you have this dream, you have these ideas, and until the players kind of prove it right or wrong is really the excitement for me. So I'm always thinking, always trying to create, we create a lot of products that probably aren't the best, but we also create a lot of products that are the best. And it's always the testing with the players that will tell you if it's good or not. It's hanging on the best personal score. 69 was the best personal score. So a lot of times, I get it out of the block, I get out to a fast start in the first 9 holes, and then it's hanging on. So it's like, okay, I want to beat my best. So it's always, I know that I can get there, but it's just closing and making sure that I can beat that 69, but I haven't yet. So hopefully I can get a 68 in here.